Today we are going to talk about something that has been right in front of your eyes this whole time, but you probably never noticed. A shadow in the corner of the frame. A symbol etched into a locker. A pattern in the way a character moves. In Teen Wolf, nothing is ever just background. Every little shape, color, and mark could mean something. Something that's been silently screaming clues while you were busy watching Scott grow fangs or Styles crack a sarcastic joke. Imagine this. You're rewatching a season, thinking you know what's going to happen, when suddenly, boom, you catch something you never saw before. Your stomach drops. That thing in the background wasn't random. It was a warning. A foreshadow. A secret breadcrumb left by the creators. And the more you think about it, the more you realize that Teen Wolf has been whispering its secrets to us from episode 1. If only we'd paid attention. But here's the thing. Once you see these hidden details, you can't unsee them. They change the way you look at every scene. They make you wonder, what else have I missed? What other truths have been hiding in plain sight? Welcome to TV series. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notifications bell for more videos. Now, keep your eyes open and your heart steady, because we're about to pull back the curtain on the symbols that were hiding in the shadows of Beacon Hills all along. Let's start with one of the biggest ones, the spirals. Ever notice how spirals keep showing up? On walls, in drawings, scratched into wood. At first glance, you might think it's just a cool aesthetic choice. But in Teen Wolf, the spiral isn't random. It's an ancient symbol of life, death, and rebirth. It shows up when someone's fate is about to take a turn, when the balance between the supernatural and human world is shifting. And here's the creepy part. The more chaotic things get in Beacon Hills, the more spirals you start to see. Almost like the universe itself is spinning out of control. It's like you're walking into your kitchen at night and seeing your cat staring at the wall. You think, okay, that's weird, but then you notice tiny claw marks in the same spiral shape scratched into the paint. Coincidence? Or a sign that something's watching? That's the feeling the spiral gives you in Teen Wolf. Then there's the fox imagery around Kira. Sure, we all know she's a kid soon, but go back and look closely. Her locker has a fox sticker before she even reveals her powers. There are fox shapes in the background of some school scenes, hidden in banners and posters. It's almost like the show was winking at us, saying, she's been one of them all along. It's the same type of thing horror directors do when they put a shadow of the killer in the corner of a scene minutes before the jump scare. You don't notice at first, but your brain does. You feel uneasy, like something's off. And then, when the reveal comes, you realize you've been looking at the truth the entire time. One of my personal favorites, the use of color in Lydia's outfits. You might think she's just a fashion queen, but there's a deeper code here. Bright, warm colors, like reds and oranges, often show up when she's emotionally connected to someone or when her banshee senses are leading her toward life. But cooler colors, especially icy blues, tend to appear right before she's drawn toward death. It's subtle, but it works like a visual warning for anyone paying attention. It's kind of like when your phone battery turns red. You don't hear a sound, but you feel the urgency. That's what Lydia's wardrobe is doing in the background of the chaos. And let's not forget the Nemeton. The tree stump is obviously a huge plot point, but the number of times its shape appears in unexpected places is downright unsettling. From shadows that mimic its form to circular framing in certain shots, the Nemeton's influence is everywhere, even when no one's talking about it. It's as if Beacon Hills itself is built around that supernatural heartbeat, and it's always watching. Makes you wonder, how much of what happens in that town is coincidence, and how much is the Nemeton pulling the strings? Speaking of shadows, did you ever notice how Void Styles' presence changes the lighting? Before he even starts speaking or doing anything sinister, the light in the room subtly shifts. Corners get darker. Colors become muted. The air feels heavier. It's not just acting, it's cinematography sending a signal to your subconscious that danger has already arrived. It's like being in a room where the temperature suddenly drops and you can't explain why. You're laughing 1 second, but then a chill runs down your spine for no reason. That's the void effect, hidden in the very atmosphere of the scene. Then there's the animal symbolism. Wolves, obviously, are everywhere, but each main character gets their own animal hints. Derek often has crows around him, hinting at transformation and omens. Malia gets imagery linked to coyotes long before her official reveal. Even Scott's environment changes. Dogs bark more often when he's near in early seasons, almost like they sense the alpha he'll become. These aren't accidents. They're little supernatural fingerprints the writers left all over the series. Here's a subtle one that gives me chills every time I think about it: the mirror shots. Whenever a character is in front of a mirror, pay attention to whether their reflection matches their expression. In most cases, it does, but there are moments, especially with supernatural possession, when the reflection is a fraction behind or ahead, or even looking somewhere else entirely. It's so quick you could blink and miss it, but it's there. And it makes you wonder, who's really in control of that character at that moment? Imagine brushing your teeth and seeing your reflection grin at you before you grin. That's the energy these scenes carry. And let's talk about music cues. Yes, even those hide secrets. Every time the supernatural world bleeds into the human one, there's a faint sound, sometimes a distorted whisper, sometimes a low growl, mixed into the background score. It's not noticeable unless you're wearing headphones, but it's the show's way of letting you feel that invisible barrier break before anything visibly happens. It's like hearing thunder before you see the lightning, nature's warning that something is coming, whether you're ready or not. The deeper you dig, the more you realize that Teen Wolf wasn't just telling a story about werewolves and high school drama. It was building a layered tapestry of clues, foreshadowing, and hidden messages. From recurring numbers like 117, which ties into Derek's arc, to the way certain camera angles mimic predator vision, the show was constantly playing a silent game with its audience. Now here's the fun part. How many of these did you actually notice on your first watch? Be honest. Most people don't catch them until their second or third time through. But once you do, the show transforms. Every hallway, every prop, every costume becomes part of the supernatural language of Beacon Hills. And maybe that's the scariest part, because if this much was hiding in plain sight on a TV show, imagine how much you're missing in real life. One of the creepiest details you might have missed is the clock symbolism. Whenever time is about to run out for a character, whether that's literal danger or a decision that will change everything, you'll see clocks in the background. And the time often matches the season and episode number. Yes, that's right. Go rewatch certain scenes and you'll find the clock hand sitting at numbers like 3:06 or 4:10, right before something huge happens in Season 3 Episode 6 or Season 4 Episode 10. It's like a supernatural countdown hidden in plain sight. It's the same feeling as when your phone battery is at 1% and you're in the middle of nowhere. You don't have to hear an alarm. You feel the pressure. Another one. Shadows that don't match the character's movements. This isn't just with possession scenes. Even early on, there are moments when a character's shadow is just slightly off, too big, too still, or moving before the character does. Sometimes, the shadow even takes the form of their supernatural creature before they transform. This tiny trick plants unease in your brain without you knowing why. It's like being in your bedroom and suddenly realizing your shadow on the wall has its head tilted, but you're not. Let's talk about doorways and thresholds. In Teen Wolf, stepping through a door isn't just walking into a room. It's often the moment a character crosses from safety into danger, or from innocence into the supernatural. Pay attention to the way scenes are framed when someone enters a new location. Sometimes the camera lingers for just a beat too long, like the door is swallowing them whole. Think about horror movies where someone walks into a dark basement. They're fine at the top of the stairs, but the second they step down, you know they've just walked into their doom. Here's one for the hardcore detail hunters, the recurring number 9. We all know about 117, but the number 9 pops up in surprising places. License plates, apartment numbers, street signs. In Celtic lore, the number 9 represents completion and the start of a new cycle, which fits perfectly with Teen Wolf's constant theme of transformation and rebirth. The show uses it as a quiet reminder that the end is also a beginning, though in Beacon Hills, that beginning usually involves claws and fangs. One eerie detail that gave me chills when I finally noticed: the eye swap shots. In some supernatural fight scenes, if you slow it down, you'll catch moments where an enemy's eyes briefly appear in the protagonist's reflection, or vice versa. It's a split-second signal that the two are more connected than they know. It's the visual equivalent of realizing you've been humming the same tune as a stranger without knowing where you learned it. Let's talk about the wind. Yes, the wind. It's not just a random weather effect. In Teen Wolf, supernatural events are often preceded by a specific type of wind. Sudden, directional, and unnaturally strong indoors. The camera will catch curtains or papers shifting a second before danger arrives. It's almost like the supernatural world is inhaling right before it attacks. Imagine standing in your kitchen and feeling a breeze on your neck, even though the windows are closed. That's the Beacon Hills wind. Another visual trick? Animal eyes in the background. Many dark forest scenes have tiny glints of animal eyes hidden in the distance. Sometimes wolves, sometimes something much less friendly. They're placed so subtly that most viewers think they're just reflections. But if you pause and look closely, you'll realize they're watching the characters. Sometimes the same pair of eyes appears across multiple episodes, hinting that certain creatures are tracking events from the shadows. And then there's the way music drops out at key moments. This isn't just to build tension. Sometimes the total silence is a signal that we're about to see the truth of a scene without distraction. The absence of background score is a symbol in itself, like the supernatural world holding its breath. It's like being in a crowded room and suddenly realizing everyone has gone quiet because someone dangerous just walked in. One of the most subtle yet mind-blowing details is the use of glass and reflections to foreshadow breakage. Before relationships shatter, before trust is broken, or before a literal fight smashes a window, you'll see characters framed with glass between them. Mirrors, windows, even glass doors. The show visually tells you something is about to break before it happens. Finally, the writing on the walls, literally. In many school scenes, there's graffiti, posters, or writing on lockers that match the theme of the episode's conflict. Words like run, beware, or trust no one are often half hidden in the background. Most people chalk it up to set dressing, but in reality, it's the show's sly way of leaving messages for sharp-eyed fans. Once you start spotting these things, you can't go back. Every rewatch turns into a treasure hunt, where every shadow, sound, and symbol is a clue. And maybe that's the real magic of Teen Wolf. It's not just telling you a story, it's daring you to notice the one it's telling behind the story. Okay, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Please like, share, and subscribe for more.